Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and Craig Skidmore here on highvibe.tv for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love horoscope for the week of August 3rd through the 9th of 2020 under this full moon in Aquarius. There's
Aquarius.
I know, the one song, and you know, it sucks. I'm an astrologer, and I think that's like the worst song ever. Is that weird?
No, I would agree with that.
Okay. All right, we're on the same page. Check out the links down below, highvibe.tv. Be a exclusive member to get all the daily videos, the daily horoscopes, the daily tarot, the weekly horoscopes, the weekly intuitive, and so much other awesome programs. Plus, Craig and I do an awesome show, full disclosure, and deep astrology, and it's full form with the full charts. Make sure that you join now. We got an awesome thing where you can always have that 7-day free trial. We're also on all the apps down below, and of course, the mothership, highvibe.tv, where you can get this awesome show that I just filmed on Friday night. It's about 4 hours, 20-minute horoscope presentation about Battle of the Gods, what we're about to go through. This is the insanity, and I'm sure if you're watching this on August 3rd live with us right now, or if you happen to be watching this later in the week, you can tell that this thing's getting nasty now in 2020.
Oh, real freaking nasty.
It's just getting nasty, and that's really what I'm about to show you, that we are under as above, so below, and as above is the biggest battle we will ever see in our lives, literal battle. So what's that battle going to look like down here on the ground? What are my recommendations? And I also show you the history and how we have never seen this in thousands of years. And if you really want to go back, you'd go back to times where it would be even hard to find the history of what even happened.
Go all the way back.
So make sure that you check that out. Go to the mothership, which is highvibe.tv, and think of your app as like your spaceship. So
hop in my spaceship, taking a ride.
Everything goes there that way. Black bag.
Oh, that's a necessity on the spaceship. What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? I brought the glasses back out of retirement.
Woo!
Semi-retirement. I was feeling love, feeling a little ooshy gooshy. Little ooh. Little ooh. Ooh. It was a good weekend.
I'm glad that you had a good weekend. Tell us about your good weekend.
Well, I got to meet my niece for the first time, which was
a big deal.
Awesome. It was great. Got to spend the whole day with her. And the next morning, got to hold her a bunch. So that was awesome. Then I got to hang by the pool on Sunday, a lot of beauty out there in the sunlight. So I can't complain. One bit. Going to the beach this next weekend. I'm taking you with me. Hop in my spaceship, taking a ride, baby.
Well, having a spaceship to go on the ride of eternal happiness has arrived, but a lot of people are almost afraid of the ramp and the weird noises and the weird smoke that comes with that ramp. If you can imagine it. My weekend, I'll be honest with you, was, under this condition of the world right now, I've just kind of like accepted it, I guess you could say. But I have to make changes to try and find something to do with my personal life. I ended up playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare for most of my weekend and sleeping and filming videos. That was the highlight. Oh, and then I took the Raptor out for 30 minutes, and then I got a bolt in the Mustang and the Shelby and one of the tires. So couldn't go romp around in that. So I romped around in the Raptor for an hour. That's about all I did. But I did get in some little battles with some, what's crazy is, I'm 36 years old now. And so when I'm playing Modern Warfare, Craig knows we're just 2 years apart. We've been playing video games since we were really young. I had a Nintendo in '89. So, they don't understand when my rank is like 34 and everybody's like at like 140, 150. If you don't understand that game, it just means that the longer you play, the more your rank goes up, the more points you get and all that stuff. So I had like a low ranking, but I'm going in there and like beating all these kids, but they're not kids. They're like 16, 20, I don't know.
The youth of America.
And then I got the mic thing. I went and bought that like a month ago because I was like, you know what, why not? Because I'm actually thinking about doing a live stream show where I play video games and talk astrology and play games like that and like talk to you all while I'm doing it, so you can at least like kind of see how I am in that world. And long story short is I get in these fights with these young kids It's like hilarious because I'll be like, yeah, God, you won. And they'll just be like, hey, you sound like an old man. I'm like, I'm like, I'm 36. And you know what I mean? They're like, you're old. I'm like, oh my God, that made me feel old.
Older the bear, sweeter the juice.
Oh, I'm like, and then I'll be like, I was playing Nintendo in '89 and you weren't even a twinkle in your daddy's eye yet.
Yes, there will be spiritual dance music. We got some people in the chat wondering about spiritual
I mean, I
dance
wish we
music.
move cameras around, but believe it or not, everything is kind of hidden around all the sets. So,
Yeah.
But that means, and also this is just the way the show's going to go now. If you never watched a show before, we are going to look at the collective, and then of course we're going to go into all 12 zodiac signs for what's happening in your love life. In the collective, I'm going to talk about the astrology, but that's it now. When I go to your sign to pick your sign, we're going to go right in the tarot, and I'll maybe bring up a little astrology of why I bring it up in the tarot. If you want to get your full horoscope of what's going on with your life right now, astrology-wise, go to highvibe.tv and be a member. This show is definitely going to just be on the love tarot portion of it, and I'll throw some astrology while I'm talking. But I'll give you the collective. I'll hook people up with that. So let's go into that collective right now. And of course, spiritual dance music after this, where of course I do another tarot reading for the celebration or the ceremony, I guess you could say, in the full releasing prayer and tarot reading and the astrology of the full moon Aquarius. And then of course we do it into a live DJ mix. So with full visuals and everything, it's definitely an experience. So big night here at highvibe.tv. And we're lucky to have you here. So the collective, this is a big week. Everybody's been seeing it everywhere. It is a full moon in Aquarius. And this full moon in Aquarius is an odd one because it didn't square to Uranus. So it's odd times, right? At the most extreme. I mean, we're talking within 1 degree orb, meaning exact T-square tightness. That means Uranus and Taurus at 10 degrees, the sun in Leo at 11, the moon at 11 Aquarius. So that is a perfect T-square, 90 degree to 180 degrees, so of the opposition. But at the same time, we have the opposition of Mercury post Saturn. And we also have Mars square Jupiter, Mars in Aries square Jupiter in Capricorn. So that is a lot all to happen at once with the full moon. When it's a time about releasing, it's about releasing into a new world that's better for you, but you've got to ditch the things that aren't working in your life. Because there's an underlying feeling in your heart. This is Leo season, let's not forget, because remember, as Christopher Witecki says, one of my best friends and the best astrologer I've ever worked with in my life, a full moon is a wolf in sheep's clothing. You get pulled into it, right? But it's not really emitting the light. It's a luminary, but the real illumination comes from the sun. So this is about the disconnect in your happiness, about people. And with Venus going to hit this north node here in the next 24 to 48 hours following this full moon, we've never seen a Venus north node after a retrograde of Venus in Gemini here. So this is something that is, and you know what, it's ironic in tarot, since we're doing a tarot love show, I want to see if Craig can guess this. What major arcana card does Gemini fully represent? Major arcana.
Temperance?
The Lover's card.
Ah. Why is that?
Because they're the only major arcana that truly are two people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the twin energy of coming together. So that's why twin flame energy actually comes from the idea of Gemini. And this could be kind of an ironic aspect about twin flame if we're going to kind of go there, because the sun is in Leo, because the moon isn't, full moon is in Aquarius. These are all signs that deal with love and connection. I mean, you can add Libra, but there's nothing happening in Libra, but there is a lot happening in Libra for the sense that this week Venus crosses the north node. The moon is going to come into Aries this weekend, and we're going to see Venus then come into Cancer. So we're going to see a lot of Capricorn. We're going to see a lot of Cancer with Venus here, and of course a lot of Mars and the moon in Aries. So the sign that's missing out is actually Libra, but it makes it be focused upon. And because we're in a fixed T-square on this full moon, meaning that the sun in Leo, the moon in Aquarius, square Uranus and Taurus, what's the opposite sign of Taurus and that's squared by Leo and Aquarius is Scorpio. So it's Libra and Scorpio that in these massive T-squares this week are the signs that are getting hit, which is about love, relationships, and especially deep emotional intimacy and connection. So could this really be the week that we've all been really waiting for to see? For some people, it's terrifying, like I said, to get on, especially those that are in relationships that aren't working. This is definitely where the time, I already said that you've been past the time, but it's like, when does it get to the point to where, yeah, you've had the oven on broil and then it's been smoking, and then when does it get to where it starts melting the oven, and then that starts melting the kitchen, and then that's the Uranian craziness, the laboratory experiment gone bad. So if we actually think, and I'm just going to kind of throw it out there about science right now, I don't know about these experiments going on, let's just say that, with science. Because this is not good aspects with it. This is like, if you watch V is for Vendetta, he was a science experiment. So, and then the people that had to go through all that weird stuff during it, that didn't make it, and that was his whole vendetta. But I would say, that movie's scary. It was meant to take place as in 2020, and exactly what's all happening right now. Same people who made The Matrix too. And they're on so much, it's not even funny. So are you in a weird science experiment that's just not been working right? And how many times are you going to wait in relationships that don't work? But on the positive on this is about overcoming the fear of truly intimacy, about a better life, and connecting to what might seem crazy, what might seem divine too, and following that heart and finding that bliss. Because Venus in this North Node it's hard. Venus, the North Node's always a hard place for us to go. It's like, I'd rather be in the South Node, which is in Sag. I'd rather keep looking at all my options, or I'd rather keep believing. In what? It's like, let's just get to the point and let's see the curiosity. Why do I feel like it feels twinsy, but I don't know, who knows? Or it feels like or this is where relationships that just somehow just naturally just come together in a weird way. It's very, very powerful. Especially because the North and South Node this week moved to the 27th degree, which means we're in the nodes, which are the connection to this reality and to the other side, truly. Galactically. You only see this once every, I guess you could say it's once every, if we're doing a 19-year cycle, every, 9 point something years. But with the South Node being at the galactic center of Sag and the North Node being opposite at 27 degrees of Gemini, this is about a galactic moving away from where we came from and going to where we're going. Think of it that way. So if relationships are going where you're headed to in your life instead of you going backwards into where you've already been, that's a huge sign. Let's see what the collective says. I do gotta say, I think it was Kirsty who sent a deck from the UK. I got it for my birthday, and then there was another deck that I got, the TV deck, but I forgot to get the slip of the person's name, but I just want you to know I appreciate both of you so much. And I'll have that name, it's on my desk, literally. So, and then I forgot it out here. But I'm using both decks, I have them out. But I love both of them. The TV deck is really cool. And then, I'll be honest, like this Vampirist deck might be the most cool deck I've ever had in my life. This best gift I ever got. And then of course the Aquarius deck, which was another gift that we use as well. So, appreciate it very much. We love using it on the show, and we just want to say thank you. Let's see what the collective has for the love this week. Woo, the 9 of Skulls. So this is the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, where are we not feeling our self-worth and the ability to manifest the beauty of the life that we want? I would say that this is definitely a card that we're going to have to kind of focus on. Do we feel disempowered in certain relationships? The ones that make us feel disempowered, we gotta let go of, right? It's a reversal. Or we're not feeling the beauty in ourselves, right? Sometimes when you can be in a relationship, and I don't know if this happens to you, Craig, but it could be like, oh my gosh, like, I look like hell. This relationship has made me look like hell, And And then you look at yourself when you get out and you're like, man, I look much better now.
Yeah, I mean, the last relationship that I was in with the Aries, I mean, she wanted to keep me nice and fat and plump, and I was like, I feel like a fat piece of shit. And she was like, no, you're great. I'm like, no, literally, I am. Voila. 50 pounds later, baby.
Woo! So I think that, you got to pay attention to that. The shadow of our challenge here is, triumph of lives or triumph of lies. I mean, there's many ways to look at it, but are we lying to ourselves, I would say, from this? And also, maybe are we dealing with, there's a song I love by I See Stars, and it's truly about, it's called Calm Snow. It's truly about the lies that we tell each other in relationships about things that aren't truly connected. And I would say that that's the challenge, is like, you just keep wearing the crown of the lie of what is disempowering and not creating the happiness and the value in the world that you want, or overall that what you got is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, the journey is over, or it has stopped you from being forward on the journey. Ooh. But you can take all this and go, yeah, this is an underlying theme, because there might be people out there like, I don't have love. What are you talking about? Well, for those that are in that sense, it's like, yeah, you're over this journey of like feeling like you can't have, and telling yourself the lie that you can't have the most beautiful love. The way that we get through these lies, we got Mars. Wow, we got to take action. We got to take action against those lies and actually like go towards what we think the lie is and actually prove it to not be true. Show the true identity that the lie is false. And we have to take action. Like, if we're not going to take action, if we're not going to take, it says force, but especially Mars and Aries, square Jupiter, you're not going to open any doors if you don't take any action right now. None. Zero. You don't get nada. Nada.
Not up in here.
Not up in here. When it comes to that Nine of Pentacles in reverse, we did get, the Three of Pentacles in reversed. This is definitely saying that we're not building anything anymore. Like, it was almost like a project that we're scrapping. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, oh yeah, we're scrapping this. This is not working. And also, if you're single, like, it's like you're scrapping this whole trying to build the way that you think you're going to build a partnership or find somebody, but the way that you've been doing things in yourself, in the way you've been living your life, it's not working, and it has to go through a major change. And when it comes to that journey of the Knight of Pentacles stopped as it's in reversed, the Fool. I mean, like, look at the spiritual advice here is, stop being dumb when everything has stopped, and don't look at the whole entire world and stopping as that's why this has stopped. No. Life is still going on. You know what I mean? Like, go look at your animals. Doesn't seem, they don't feel like anything's changed. So there, you got to realize that this is us being blind to, why are we stopping ourselves from the great love? Why are we holding on to positions, single or not single, that aren't working? There's going to have to be a lot of change through this. So the Astro Dice for the collective this week is Mars, and Libra, and the 6th house. Yeah, I mean, Mars in the 6th, or Mars already in Libra is a little difficult, but because of the fact that, it wants a partner for the reality. But if our identity, or we're being pushed into the reality that doesn't feel like it's harmonious or in alignment with the right person, we're going to have stress. We're going to feel like a mundane life. And we want to bring beauty to this mundane life by how we identify and who we identify with.
Yeah, I kind of equate it to even like the loss of inspiration. That could be a project. We've all experienced it in different ways. But that loss of inspiration, that can happen in a relationship. We don't get necessarily inspired to dress up anymore. We don't get inspired to maybe go on that extra walk, take that, we do get inspired to eat that extra donut, and it happens. But you have to kind of figure out what it is that you're trying to piece together. What is it, this relationship that you're trying to put together with this individual, or, this relationship with yourself. But you have to always have those open line of communications with yourself and with your partner to actually truly figure it out and to find that inspiration again, because it's inside of you always, but sometimes it's hard to see.
It is hard to see. Let's see what the first sign that we're doing today is. Well, it's Aquarius.
Well, all right.
It's Aquarian. Rather low numbers tonight.
Well, it's the weird. So that whole going live thing was strange. The whole process of it, they completely changed the back end of it. Like it just, when I hit go live on the live stream studio option, it just popped up. And like when I was creating the feed, it wouldn't let us pre-register anybody. So people were only able to access it if they were following us on Facebook or your post. It wasn't showing up prior. But then once we went live, it did. So interesting things.
I think they're trying to change the whole live thing too, of like when you go to videos on somebody's YouTube, you can like actually click and see that there's a live stream section now.
Really?
That's what I've been, as a creator, they've been sending me, like, we're changing live stream with some weird stuff. So
yeah, even the whole back end, the way that what I'm looking at is completely different as well.
Wow.
So
I know I'm saying if everybody can share, if y'all want a 1K collective reading, because that's what it takes to get the 1K collective.
1K?
This will be the first week ever in a year that we've never had 1,000 people at least to watch.
Well, I mean, that we haven't had yet. I mean, we're about to hit it here.
I don't know, man.
Hey, ye have little faith.
All right, Aquarius, let's see what's going on with your love life this week. Well, we got this 7 of Swords reversed. So the good news is maybe that you're getting out of a lot of weird. Oh, actually, sorry. Is that spectators? Scepters. Yeah. So it's 7 of Wands reversed. This is where it feels like you kind of don't know what to put your energy into. The 7 of Wands is like, I'm on the mountain and I'm going towards it and this is what I want and I will fight for it till the day I die. This reversal is maybe somebody's not wanting to fight for you anymore. Maybe you don't want to fight for somebody else anymore. You're not that into it. There's definitely a lot of kind of not really into things right now. And we're going to see why. What's that shadow about that? Ooh, yeah, naked before the stars. It's like you're kind of in your own world. But that's a shadow of... if you stay there, then you're never going to have anything to come out to do with anything because you're not coming out. It's almost like you're in your own little hole right now. You could even be in a relationship and just be living in a hole. Aquarians are the best at that. Like, especially with this full moon in your sign, it's almost like, oh yeah, like I'm just kind of doing me, and it's square the Uranus aspect of your emotions. It's your 4th house in Taurus. Like, I'm just kind of emotionally, especially with the relationship stuff. What the heck? Are you going to do that? But I was to say, Aquarians can look at you cold as ice and be like, everything's fine. But there's obviously, it is fine because they know how to just like put the emotions on ice in the freezer for a long time and then thaw it very slowly over time. The overall card is the Star card reversed. So yeah, there's almost like, I think that there's a repression because there's a fear of great change into something new. And I feel that that's kind of like, it's like, let me just stall things. I don't want to deal with it all right now. I would rather deal with some other things like personal stuff. And, how long can you draw that out for? You also don't want to miss any opportunities. You did get the Neptune card. Yeah, it's like sacrifice, then let go of this whole like you in your own kind of weird way. You might even like be kind of in your own fantasy of yourself, I'll be honest with you. Like you're just thinking of your own dreams, your own visions, might be just taking your own selfies. And it's like, sometimes that's good, but I think that, this is a time where it's kind of like, maybe your partner's feeling like you're not into it anymore. And that's why you're feeling it's backing out away from you. Or at the same token, people that are dating you are probably going to hit you up like, what the heck's going on? And you're probably like, what do you mean? And don't project because you're the one who's not fully pulling in there. At least tell the person that you're not wanting to be in it and not fight for it anymore. You got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is definitely foundational issues. And especially with the 7 of Wands up reversed, it's almost like there's no foundation to really fight for right now. You might be in a relationship where it kind of feels like, what am I doing? And there is no kind of click anymore, deep connection that's going to, bring the true energy that's going to house the greatest feelings and the greatest thing to have. You might also be in question, especially about whether or not you even want to be in a relationship at all, period. Aquarians could be very much in that right now with these transits right now. And the Star card came with the Sun, and it was a Star card reversed. So, I think that because the Sun is in Leo and it is the Sun, I think that you are finding your true self. And once you do, and you allow yourself to be the true energy that you really want in your life, and you let go of this kind of staying in your own space and holding off a great change in your life that's not that bad. It's a better change, that you'll have a great energy. So I think Aquarius, it's more like stalling because of, minor fears and just maybe distractions in different zones, or just kind of over something and don't want to deal with it. Deal with it. There's a much better horizon when you do. You did get the 11th house with Mercury here, and you did get Cancer. So yeah, you're going to have to communicate to people what you're feeling, and you're going to have to, maybe it has to be kind of in a unique way. Maybe that's what you've been emotionally unsure of, like, how am I going to do the conversation? Like, am I going to do this over text? Am I going to do it over Instagram? Am I going to do it over this? And it's like, just, I would recommend being person to person in life, like making a phone call, or, having some sort of, so where somebody feels like there is some emotion that can be understood or felt, or FaceTiming them or Zooming them, whatever it might be. I would definitely avoid doing anything that felt very cold right now. And, that's the sacrifice, right? Like, if you're not really into it, or you want to be alone, that's fine. Maybe you have to at least just sacrifice somebody else's energy so you can be in your own. You can't keep two weird, like, emotional worlds going.
Yeah, I feel like maybe some of those Aquarius out there kind of like lost their confidence in their sex appeal, with all those reversals. But then the naked under the stars, right? Is that what that's what it's called, right?
Naked before the stars.
Naked before the stars. Yeah, I kind of, with that, and then with all the reversals, it's kind of like an internal situation as to maybe you're like putting off that passion, with your partner, or even putting yourself out there because you don't have the confidence in yourself of your beauty, that beautiful self that you are. And you need to tap back into that. You need to appreciate yourself so you can put that out into the world, so you can put that into your partner's hands as well. And then voila, then it blossoms. And then everybody has a good time. But you got to find that confidence again within yourself.
Yeah, it is. If you don't have that confidence in yourself, nothing's going to happen in life.
No.
And nothing beautiful, especially. Not as beautiful as a beautiful Libra can be, right?
Oh, the most beautiful.
There are some really extremely beautiful Libras in the world. Every sign there's extremely beautiful. That's the whole thing about everybody and every zodiac sign, is I know everybody has made a lot about making fun of each zodiac sign or whatever, but then there's been great memes where it's like, yeah, you root for your own team. But I think that as an astrologer, I have been able to just find all the beauty in every sign. So I'm just like, if I see somebody with beautiful skin, I'll be like, Capricorn? And they'll be like, how did you know? I'll be like, oh yeah, there's those little things that you just know once you do this for so long. So it's beautiful. All right, Libra, let's see what's going on with your love life this week. You did pull the Ace of Grails, which is the Ace of Cups reversed. So you feel empty emotionally and you don't know why. But I would say that, this is like you want a lot of fulfillment emotionally, and maybe it's got something missing. So, look where the well is that you're pulling the water from, especially with this full moon being in your 5th house of love. It's a big deal. But it is squaring that, maybe there's not the passion there. Maybe there's not the edge there that you need. And maybe that's what the emotional intensity is that's missing. Are you in a just friends relationship, or best friends, or friends with benefits, but trying to do the whole marriage thing or a deeper thing? You did get sacrifice as your dark shadow challenge here. So I would say that, the challenge is you're realizing that you're sacrificing your deep emotional needs for other things, maybe just property or just security, or just to say you're in a relationship that's functional. It's not something to feel too comfortable about being a Libra. You got the Ace of Cups in reverse. So I would say that, we got 2 Ace of Cups reversed. This is ultra empty. Something's missing. It's okay to showcase and let people know instead of hiding it and being like, no, I'm fine. No. You'd love to have love. You would love to have feeling and fill yourself up with it. So why don't you sacrifice the ending of that emptiness and go into feeling again? You pulled the Leo card as the way to get through that. Yeah, you got to go to love. You got to go to true happiness. You got to have some fun again. You got to, and that's the thing, is you got to have that edge and that fun, that Leo fun. You know how Leos have fun. Woo! Like there's that just always laughing and always shining bright and always like being a little bit courageous about things and talking crap and having like woo, spinning. It is Leo time, by the way, too. Well, ooh, look at this. 5 of Cups in upright position. This is like a CSI card, I think. You know, my Vegas. This is definitely the sorrow card. So there's some emotion, but a lot of it is kind of missing. And then you get that with an Ace of Cups reversed. You know, you got if you're in a partnership right now, Libra, or the one that you're focused on right now, Libra, in your life, like, what is it that's making it that way? Why is it so like, well, I'm kind of emotionally there, but I'm not all the way there. And then like, but I'm feeling like I'm missing everything. Well, yeah, you're going to have to fill it up, and you've got that twice. So we're going to see what the Aquarius deck says for that. You did get the Judgment reversed. So again, there's this part of yourself that, you know, isn't really ready, I think, to deal with the truth that you're not going to the calling of the fire that's going to burn the truth of bringing in the deeper emotions. And it's time for you to let go of whether that's a judgment of how somebody is or a judgment of yourself, of like how you really feel and that you're in something that you don't want to do. Or if you're single, it's like, let go of the judgment of like, well, I kind of have it this way and they don't have it that way. You got to be fair too. And you got to allow yourself the opportunities to be had and not miss out. Judgment card reversed is like missing out on God's calling. Are you missing out on God's calling of what God's, are you listening to God and denying that and almost being like, no, I think I'm better a judge of this situation, Lord. Oh gosh. Aries, 5th house, Neptune. Yeah, this is definitely, I love 5th house Neptune. I mean, I was born with it. Of course, we could be a little too dreamy with love, but you know, with Aries there, you got to identify what the dream really is. And if it's not that identity, then you have been spooked by your own deception. And I would say that, you know, if you want love, you have to take action towards it and get over the sensitivity of that as well too. And if you have a partner and and it's not going the way you want, and you've been kind of believing it's love, and then you're realizing it's not the extreme passion, you have to get, what's the blocks of that? What's the subconscious stuff? You're gonna have to direct, go way into that and be like, hey, you know, I know it's sensitive, but I need to bring this stuff up. And you got to take action. I like how you bring up like the spinning, it's like spinning a wheel. Like in many ways, I feel like that's what we're all kind of doing right now, but Libras can definitely kind of spin a wheel of, I mean, imagine being a judge, right? I'm sure you get so many cases that sometimes you might get in a thing where it's like, I see the same sign, this person, they're guilty. It's like, maybe you need to kind of sometimes get out of those wheels as a judge to make sure that you're being fair and honest to yourself and to the other party, and be like, okay, I'm not going to judge based off, I see the same pattern, the same way that look is, the same way that talk is, the same way that situation is. A judge has to be fair and take the situation and the case on as exactly as it is without having any bias towards anything. And so I would say that this is, in Libra, you removing the bias within yourself, possibly even removing the bias in somebody else, but also being fair enough to yourself where if the bias is, you know, you're not happy and it really is true to that, then you got to be true to that instead of then creating a bias like that you have to stay because you feel bad or something. I mean, that's the craziness Libra goes through. Like, wow. Woo! 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 Full moon Aquarius! Woo! Sag! Woo! Fucking gnarly times. You know what I mean? Definitely not chill. You know? Definitely not.
Sag. Apparently my mic cut out for a portion of that. But what I was saying,
wow,
Libra,
that's been going down a lot.
Is that you're not, I know, I just put new batteries in too.
Are they energizers?
Well,
were they Duracells?
They were energizers. They're now Duracell.
That's been the problem.
I know.
I mean, we're not here trying to say that, you know, we're not being paid by Duracell, but
They're
as
much better.
You know, owning a spiritual network and TV studios, Craig and I can tell you, I mean, I don't even know the thousands of videos we recorded, but Duracell, Duracell, Duracell. Don't ever buy Energizer. They're the crappiest batteries of all. It doesn't matter if they're the most extreme max. They suck.
What I was saying though is it starts with yourself, and if you continue to tell yourself lies that you're okay with a certain situation when you know for a fact you're not, you're going to get stuck in a spinning wheel of not fortune, but a spinning wheel of shit. And then when you try to get off, you're not going to be able to because you're going to continue telling these lies. And if you are working your way out of this, if you are being upfront and honest with yourself about what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want, then continue doing that. Continue making the progress. But it has to start somewhere, and it has to start with you saying, yes, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. This is what I'm going to go do, and then go and get it. Paraphrased.
Well, you have to go and get it all. Yeah. I mean, but you know what? Going back to the batteries, I mean, I know. Talking about stupid stuff. It is freaking 2020. What else is there to talk about? Anything but what's being talked about in the news all day. Energizer Bunny seems like it just keeps going and going and going, but it's almost like, are you proving that in the wrong direction? And then it wears out energy faster. I almost feel like that whole Energizer Buzzy of like, just keep it going, just keep it going. It almost wears out the batteries too quick in the wrong direction, and then you have no energy left to go what you really need to do. It almost feels like, you know, I think what's the old, the copper top? It's just kind of like Duracell, the copper top, you know, like it's just kind of like, I'm crowning myself with the best that I am. And that's what it is. Instead of this whole, I'm going, and this, you know, those toys that just wind up in batteries and just go in one direction. Like, that's not a good thing to do.
The Kodak batteries are pretty good too.
Yeah. I mean, we've actually, well, I will still say, the Duracells and then the ProCell Duracells. Whew.
Yeah, those ones were the bomb.
You want to get me turned on? Give me a 24-pack of Duracells.
Double A's, baby, double A's.
double A's. You know what I mean? I'm not in AAA, by the way. You know what I mean?
We'll do the 1K after this Sagittarius right here.
5 years sober. Didn't go through AAA either or any of that stuff. I have AAA for my car. Nothing against people that are in AAA. I think it's a good thing.
I think it's just AA, just 2.
Oh, that's right. I knew that, but then I was like, I got to roll with it. And then it was like, the Scorpio called me out. I was like, fuck. All right, let's see what's going on, Sag. The permit card upright. The wisdom. And I like this card. Look at this. Like, I like this hermit actually is moving. It's not like slow. Look at that wolf too. Woo! Some of those skulls, but it's almost like leaving the skulls and the wolves behind. And finally, look at that light that's at the, not just the light of the torch, but the light at the end of that weird forest. You've got all your info this week about relationships. Are you going to actually get out of the dark and into the light? Woo! Wisdom. Your shadow card is this me? Wow, this one hasn't come out for weeks. Your challenge is, am I really this person around this person? Or maybe it's like looking at that person and being like, is that really the person I'm with? You know? Or if you're single, like, am I really going after that person? This is who I am and I need to really see that? Or is this who I'm turning myself into? Am I not really following the wisdom? Am I not really going towards the light? And am I really going opposite direction? The overall that we got here is the Justice card. Wow. You got some big cards here. I would say that definitely, you know, it's about the divine justice that's in alignment with spirit and the angels. I love this depiction of this card, especially for the fact that you could see the angels are doing their work to align things in life. And that's divine justice. And there is this beautiful, is that a crow? No, I think that's an eagle. The golden eagle that sits above, right, of which is Scorpio, which is actually like the truth of the truth. Like, I would say that it's like the deep truth. It's not just the truth that you're not going to do anything. It's the deep truth that's the injustice that you have to serve. True justice and alignment that's from the angels, you know? And especially there's a little bit of demonic energy. I'm just going to be honest with you. Is this me? You might be around somebody that might be having a little bit of dark energy around them. I'm not going to lie. Let's see how you get through this. Jupiter Abundance, your own card. Being your real self. You're ruled by Jupiter. The abundance comes when you truly are yourself. And I'll be honest with you, I got something that there's a dark situation about the person that you're talking to or that you're in a relationship with or something that is coming up, and whether or not you're aligning with that and whether or not you're going to find your true abundance by being yourself and going in the direction that feels of the light and seeing how they react, or what are you going to do about this situation? Let's see. Hermit came up with the Five of Swords in reverse. You're not trying hard enough to go towards where you need to get out of. It's almost kind of like with that dark energy, and especially with the skulls and the wolf here, it's like, you got to go in another direction, especially because this full moon is in Aquarius. You need to start thinking again and start looking at the open doors. But that square to Uranus is, you're too afraid to try to change the reality. And I would say that the reality needs to be changed because you're not trying hard enough at all. You know, Five of Swords is definitely like somebody who's like not showing up enough and almost is nowhere to be found. And you're almost nowhere to be found with your wisdom and to escape to the truth of the knowledge that you know in your life. And there's definitely something a little dark here. I don't know why. It's almost like, I hate to get there, but you know, it's not Halloween or anything, but you know, it's a little exorcist-like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I wouldn't be there hanging out with the priest, you know, in the bedroom with the green pea soup. Like, I would be out. But it's almost like you might want to watch it, and you might want to lay down in the bed next to her. Like, what? No! Like, get out of the room. Wow, you got the Emperor here with the Justice. I would say that there's two things to this. It's like, because this is the outcome, and of course, the spiritual advice, I would say that the spiritual advice is like, is the person that you're choosing truly empowered right now, and they're in balance and harmony and they're in alignment in their life, or are they not, and they're just falling, and somehow you know that you have to, there's I think a lot of sad situations right now where it's kind of like, is there this thing where it's like, is the person really of the true justice and the true power of the Emperor? Which the Emperor is very Aries, right? Very commanding, but knows its identity, but also it's not egotistical, believe it or not, in a negative way. It's not like ultra narcissistic. It's got minor narcissism, but that's like positive narcissism, to be in the space of, I am in command in a space that I know how to understand what the people want, and I'm good to the people, and I'm doing good deeds and good things, and I'm also not tripping out. Because one thing about the Emperor is it's not tripping out. It knows its value, it knows its security, and its identity, itself, and what it's doing, Sag. So I would say that your big question this week is, are you staying stuck in a situation with somebody who does not have power, or are you after somebody who doesn't have power and you're trying to almost like, I don't know, go against what you say and turning into a self that you don't want to turn into? And if something dark's been going on, or they're connected to some sort of energy that feels off and dark, you better pay attention. You got your Mercury and Pisces here, and you did get it 6th house. No, you did get 9th house. I mean, this is good, but you know, Mercury already is fall position in Pisces, and then you get it in the 9th house where Mercury's at detriment. So this is, your mind is definitely in a very lost place and doesn't know what to do. But that's the whole thing, is the only quest of being a Sag is to go on the quest itself into the unknown, into the fortunate doorways that open up you to new worlds, instead of staying behind. And I'm going to show it one more time, Craig, just this place that's time to walk out of. The week of all weeks, especially, I will give a little astrology for Sag. This is the end of Venus and being in Gemini, and after the retrograde, and like I said, and with the North Node on Wednesday, and then it's going into Cancer, into your 8th house. Whew. Are you ready? You ready? Like the whole kind of 4 months of weirdness here, of kind of stagnation, because you've been sitting as like on the fence about it all and seeing it and thinking it was good, and then wait, no, is it not? It's not, it's not, it's not. Or maybe it's been building something up beautiful, new, that is, but you haven't been willing to see it yet. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, I'm glad that Emperor card got picked, because, you know, knowing who you are, knowing your identity, because I was picking up maybe that loss of identity. You know, instead of that Sag kind of, you know, extruding that power, you know, maybe you're kind of transforming yourself to fit a situation, or to fit a relationship, or to fit this way because you think that he's going to like you better that way, or she's going to like you better, instead of just being who you are. You know, it's almost like you lost a piece of yourself trying to fit into a box, in which you should never do that, in which Sagittarius especially, you should not do that. You need to speak your truth. You need to tap into that power. You need to always lead by example of who you are and who you want, because that's going to radiate, and that's going to bring in that actual love, that actual individual, and that power that you're searching for. But if you get lost within yourself trying to you know, mirror individuals and mirror situations around you, it's just not going to turn out too well for you. Not at all. Not one bit.
No, it never goes well when.
No.
Like, I can't even like rebuttal that. Like there's nothing to add on to that. I think that's the problem is sometimes Sagittarius can keep adding things on top. Like it's almost like having a cake and then like the cake now is 24 stories of just like, do we need that many toppings on it now when we got the point? You know, that's not a bad thing in life in other areas of expansion, like love. But when it's not love anymore and it's now adding on, you know, it's a like I always like to say, like it's a moldy piece of bread, and the next thing you know, like how much are you gonna, how much butter and jelly and all the things that you can to put over it to hide the mold?
Yeah, I mean, because we all change a little bit, you know what I mean? When we're in a relationship or we're trying to court an individual, you know, of course, it's always good to evolve and to add new, you know, interests into your life, but don't lose who you are. Don't lose that piece of yourself that made you the individual that you are today.
Yeah, and I would say that if you are not able to step into that right now, that's a problem, because this is the moment where there's been enough of 2020. There's been enough of what's been going on in astrology. This full moon square Uranus is everybody having to change their reality 100% about what's connective to the true self, and to, more importantly, to having a life that actually will take you to the abundance. That's really what you are as a Sag. But more importantly, with Uranus and Taurus, it is about the abundance comes to the day-to-day reality and what it looks like for you right now. 6th house, I know it could be mundane. Maybe you're all like, ooh, this is mundane and it's keeping me somewhat in a nice position, but is it exciting? Is it invigorating, or has it just become monotonous? Did we reach 1,000 people yet? I guess we did. So it looks like we're going to do a 1K collective. Oof.
See, ain't nothing to worry about. Yeah, so love out there. Now you gotta pick someone that you're actually talking to. You got to talk to this individual, and you can't just be flipping and flopping and say, no, it works better for this individual. Ain't that right?
No, it's not going to work.
Ain't that right?
You've got to put this person up on a mantle in your, like, close your eyes with me and go into wherever. For me, lately, I've been doing it in like a castle. I am the Leo King and all this stuff. You know what? I'm going to pick a new place. I am going to go out to the middle of a field, and I'm going to put the person that I want to see where it is going with love, with looking at the beautiful sun on a grass field and their image up in the sunlight. So we know that that's the only person, because some of you all, it's like, no, wait, hold on. This sounds like this person. It's like, oh no, we got to stick to this one person so you get to the point and know what the deal is. And so I'm going to give you this 10 seconds here to think about that person, put them up wherever you want to be. I always, pick a wall like in a beautiful, wherever that you want to create. One thing about past life regression work that I love, especially when you go under hypnosis, is when they do put you into these places, and wherever you go, like there's so many magical places that I have arrived to set myself into my past life regressions, So it's like, right now I just started to go there. It's kind of weird. Once you do it enough, you can just go there on your own. It's fucking crazy. But Take this 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This person, you have to be talking to them.
So it's not this individual on the screen.
Oh yeah, well, unless you're talking to me in life, you know what I mean?
And that's real life.
You know what I mean?
Face to face.
Like face to face, or I met you on a dating app one time, or whatever, right? You can't do none of this like, well, I've never met the person, we've never had a combo in any way. It's like, no, and also not like thank yous and appreciations and stuff like that. Typical, like where you've actually been like, yeah, we're kind of into each other. This is what we're talking about. Or relationships, or could be in a fling situation, or you could be married, or you could be in a, who's the person they want to figure out what's going on. Let's see what's going on with them. You got that person?
I do.
You can't shift rounds.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
All right. Okay. We got the Queen of, Pentacles upright. This is a very good energy for being able to create something of beauty, abundance. There's definitely a caretaking and beautiful element to it. She's kind of hot too in this deck.
I concur.
Okay, I was waiting for a Scorpio response. The Leo in me was just like, yeah, am I going to be sitting here alone talking about that?
I wanted that little silence there for a
definitely there's a feeling of, I would say, security with this person. Like physically, if you were, I would say with the Queen of Pentacles, it always is with this person, like it has to be real. It can't be also like digital only. Like it has to be like, I want to physically feel and see this person, because that's where it has to be. So if this is like not going to be something that physically would work out, especially if you guys are in other countries and you guys don't know when the whole travel things are ever going to happen. In South Node and Sag, it looks like another year and like 3-4 months. Maybe you want to write this one off till then, but anything else though, this feels like something that you could build something beautiful with. The shadow about this though is the peaceful among the thorns. I would say that it's almost like nobody's willing to take the risk in many ways. Like you're okay with getting to the line, but not willing to kind of go in, and you think it's thorny, but really it's not. It's like, I feel like that's what I think it is. I feel like there's something about like afraid of taking the risk to see where it's going to go. I think it's something good, but I feel like the risk of the next level. So if it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whoever it is, or somebody that you're dating, like there's something about a next level. If it's somebody that, you know, that you're with and wherever that level is about to go, maybe I'll be honest, maybe we're gonna find out. What's the overall? 3 of Swords. Whew. That's why I felt I didn't want to pump everybody up too much. I was like, there is something to say about this, and I'll put it in 2 different categories. I'll say, there's a fear of being heartbroken by taking a new risk, and then also the other one is that you keep idolizing something that's abundant and beautiful that you have physically, but the shadow is it's not that great, and you're afraid of like just the heartbreak of it. So there's the people that you know, you're in something already and it can't go to any next level because you know that level's only heartbreak next. And then there's those where the next level is amazing, but you're afraid of just heartbreak itself, and that's why you're kind of sitting in between the lines. Wow, solar eclipse card, kabam, shows up here, the revolution card. I would say that, so, with solar eclipses, they do bring up breakups and bringing togethers, and they do bring up a lot of major change. So in order to get out of this kind of weird, I would say that, peaceful among the thorns to me is a little bit like purgatory, but purgatory with sharp daggers everywhere, and you're kind of stuck in between, like sitting there like, you're like doing your little like yoga pose in the middle of thorns, like, that solar eclipse is trying to burn that out. But you're going to be presented with a lot of things here that look pretty intense. The 5 of Pentacles come up, a little bit of Fargo there, it looks like, dragging the dead body out. Well, let's say it this way. Maybe you don't feel like you're good enough for this person. Maybe because, one thing about 5 of Pentacles is it is the kind of like poverty card. It is the feeling homeless or feeling a victim, or just not feeling in your high self-worth. Or you feel like, if you were to let this go, it would feel like, you'd be body dragged in the snow into a trunk. It definitely wouldn't be a good feeling. Or you feel that it would be, too much to go through it. Maybe you feel like, well, I won't have anywhere to go, or I'll be poor, or things like that. Definitely with a lot of pentacle energy here. I'm going to be honest, if this is attachment to money situations, you need to not be afraid, because being in love just for money ain't going to be good. And then if you're afraid of that you're not good enough, that's the fear of your heartbreak, and that's your self-worth issues. And by going into it and by owning it, that gives you self-worth, Like, and if you do lose them, whatever. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person or it just didn't work. That shouldn't affect your self-worth. I've been rejected plenty of times in my life, trust me. Wow, the Hierophant with that 3 of Swords came out. Yeah, if it's not spiritually aligned, and if your partner is really not spiritual and you are, definitely it's Heartbreak City. But I would say that if you're moving into something and there's both a spiritual connection, and maybe you both are kind of going through some underlying self-worth issues about fear of breakup or fear of heartbreak, well, turn to your spirituality and just trust in that, and go into that both together and be like, you know what, this is spiritual, and this is something that that we are both going to work through spiritually about our fears of that breakup energy or fear of heartbreak, and let's work through that together. So I think that could be a beautiful thing. I don't know what side of the fence you're on this, but we got Moon in the 4th in Gemini. So this is, a lot of feelings need to come out. A lot of feelings need to be spoke about. A lot of feelings. And also, this kind of shows definitely that the home energy, if you happen to be living with this person, is already crazy enough. So, if you're doing it for security reasons, not good. But there's a lot that hasn't been talked about. There's a lot that needs to be discussed emotionally and actually discussed, because there's another side that you don't know, and there's a lot of things that are kind of left in the dust because there's nothing being said. There's a lot of beating around the bush. And this is a week to where it has to be done on this person. Let's just bring all the emotions out. And you know what? The events of the world, and it is Battle of the Gods now. So guess what? This is a perfect time to be okay, Battle of the Gods is happening. Oh shit, look at the shit. Just even look at today. Today's news blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was like, this shit's going down.
It seems like there is fear on both sides, though, at least so it's not one side. At least maybe
Totally.
You're not the only individual in this that needs to express something, which is kind of, comforting. That you both are going to let these skeletons out of the closet so that you both can grow together. At least it's just not one-sided, where it's like you have all this baggage that you're bringing into it, because we all have that baggage. We all have these issues, and we all need to learn to work through these traumas. And some people work through them a little bit faster than others. Some hold on to them for a lifetime, unfortunately, and just learn to deal with it. But it is working through it, and it is being open and honest with these individuals and making sure they're being open and honest with you too, and just so it's not one-sided. But there is that possibility of love or lust just for a moment.
Well, yeah. Go deeper into that, though. I'm love and lust for just a moment. Is it just like a fling and then it burns out? Is that what you're trying to say?
We all, maybe that's just that stage that you need to learn still. Maybe it's that you are afraid of being hurt, and so it kind of takes that. Maybe you just got out of a horrible relationship or had an issue that happened. But as long as you have that next step of kind of being able to work through that, where it's not just you trying to figure out these issues within your own mind. You're able to actually openly discuss it and kind of work through those trauma and work through these issues and bring them back into your life, work through it. That's what I'm saying.
What is it, like a vampire?
Yeah, it's only for a moment, you know what I mean? Just to get you through those struggles. Sometimes love doesn't last for
Do you think
eternity.
that people can be vampires that to each other, use each other for
Yeah. Definitely.
just
Definitely.
Just
enabling everybody to be a piece of shit. Yeah, that happens in relationships.
Well, had to ask the Scorpio about that. You know what I mean? If the vampire does exist, but two people at the same time. Speaking of Scorpios, I think we all. What time is it? I don't know. What time is it? What time is it?
The time is. It's party time, baby.
We're waiting.
Cause ain't no party like Scorpio party, baby.
Wish in the background we need to add a little background. Usually you'd hear clapping hands and stuff. I want to get a bunch of vampires and werewolves and stuff woo. And then in the back, a moan, oh, wow, what a party. But I've been in a past life regression to the fourth dimensional world of the vampire world. It is very crazy. It is very crazy. Actually, it's not as crazy as people think. It was actually some of the other rooms in that castle that I literally was like, oh, that's shadow. The stuff that we think is so shadow in this 3D realm, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's some people in some other dimensions that are playing out their shadow schools in weird rooms in this shadow castle that, let's just say when I saw it, I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it. Did I pick? Oh yeah, it's Scorpio party, baby. All right, Scorpio, let's see. The king and queen of shadow. 3 of Pentacles reversed. So I would say that, how funny that it must feel like you don't know how to build where a relationship's going right now, that might be okay. Like, it's almost like you haven't found the plans yet. Because, you know, Three of Pentacles is like people come together building plans and like, here's the big thing we're building and I've got this and I've got this. So there's a lot of like unsure of how to build something right now or where something's going in a relationship or how it's going to look. It's kind of like playing in the middle, but at the same time, that means nothing's going to get built. So you got to start like coming up with some sort of plan, you know, and especially this full moon in the 4th house, square Uranus in your 7th house to the sun in your 10th. Like, this is about planning relationships emotionally and how it affects your life, your work, and all those things. So the shadow of this is, wow, you got today for tomorrow. We haven't seen this card in a while. So the things that you do today affect us tomorrow. But by not making a plan about something in a partnership right now, that means tomorrow it's not going to have a plan. So it's the faster that you do something about something that the next day will actually build upon that. But it almost feels like it just continues to be the same thing day after day because you're not doing anything different in the day of what tomorrow will look like. It's not a bad card to have. You did pull the Empress card, though, reversed. So, you know, the ultimate goddess energy of found. This is, I'm going to just be real and just to the point. This is just like not creating anything, like just keeping it kind of in a stalemate mode. When you're missing out on a lot of abundance and you're missing out on creating some great things. You know, especially, you know, this is very Scorpio. There's some spider webs there. Woo! Is that what she's got? Yeah, oh, look at her. I do like this deck. The Vampers deck is my favorite deck. Nothing's come close. My Mars in Scorpio and Saturn in Scorpio are thriving with this deck. Air element here. Yeah, not talking about building things. Ooh. Ew. Or, you know, unsure of how to communicate those things, especially with, you know, it's like maybe that's going too far because if I'm talking about just only today, then if I talk about tomorrow or maybe beyond the future, into the future, maybe that's too much too fast or maybe they don't want to do that or maybe you're making too many assumptions. But you know what? What do you got to lose, Scorpio? You're not going to build anything. You're not going to see the greatness of what the relationship could be wherever you're at in whatever position you're at if you don't say something or do something about it. This Three of Pentacles came up reversed because, well, you did get the Knight of Pentacles upright. So, you know what? It's a long journey. The longer that you don't progress forward with things, things are just going to be stuck. This is saying move forward with things, but moving forward with things without a plan gets you nowhere. It's just riding the horse without a trail. A horse with no name on a trail with no name. Can't be singing America's greatest hits and you know, horse with no name. You did pull the Tower card reversed as your spiritual advice. Look at you. It's like you're afraid to build something completely because you're afraid it will all fall down. Or, you know, this could be that you're in a relationship that you've been afraid to end something because it's not providing anything for you. But this is like wanting a lot of great things, but just staying in stagnation. Avoiding love completely by not wanting to communicate about it or not wanting to investigate it at all. Scorpio, North Node, 2nd house. Whoa. Well, Scorpio, you only get what you want when you actually have something in your life and you build and you create something. How funny. So this is about, you know, putting a commitment to something to build, to have better. You want a better life and to transform your life to feel better? Well, you have to feel physical and have it and create something. Can't just be metaphysical connection or the idea of your weird Scorpio ways of like nobody knows but you're like secretly underneath planning all these things out and not saying anything or imagining or obsessing over them but not saying anything, and then when it doesn't go your way you fucking snap. So
yeah, it can almost come across as self-sabotaging even if it's not like an intentional, because we do hold it in, you know, because we don't express ourselves maybe in the most healthiest of manners, you know, even though we might feel a certain way inside, we don't always voice it, you know, and it can sabotage a relationship. And that's something that all Scorpios, including myself, need to figure out, you know, need to work out in expressing ourselves in a healthy manner. You know, when things are going great, express that. and tell them why. You know, and things aren't, you know, it's usually not an issue saying when there is an issue that's bothering us. Speak it up, but it's more of that happier side. It's more of that joyful side. Maybe we don't express that love enough or that appreciation enough in the verbal manner, you know, because a lot of individuals, they need that verbal, you know, what's the word? Anyways,
that verbal confirmation.
Yeah, the verbal confirmation of it, you know, not just the physical touch.
That might be the new sexual thing that's hot in 2020. Like 2020 is so hot. Verbal communication, like verbal confirmation. Verbal confirmation.
Yeah, so you just got to say it. You can't be afraid of it. Can't be afraid to get that heart broken. Can't be afraid to break hearts either.
Doing a little Zoolander, little, you know, so hot right now. Verbal confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Who do we got next? So hot right now. Verbal confirmation. Geminis. Wow, that's a big week for Geminis. Venus exiting their sign on the North Node. Whew. After a retrograde. They'll never see that in their lives again. Unless they live to be hundreds of years old, but.
112.
Out of the gold cup.
57 years old plus 1 million.
I think tonight in Spiritual Dance Music, it's just already in the little $1 million. All right, Gemini, let's see. Full moon in your, wow, this is going to be in your ninth. What doors are you willing to open up and which ones are you, you know, closing yourself off to at the same time? 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh. Well, this is the card of feeling like, I'll show the upright dark version of this card. This is like you feel like you've been a victim. The reversal is showing that, you know, it's over. It's over, this whole like victim thing. So maybe it's time to approach things without such a hesitation, I would say. Right? Like kind of like a fear. You know, I get it. Like there's things that happen to us in relationships in life, but you know, especially with this being in the 9th house full moon, square Uranus in the 12th, like you got to learn to surrender to opening doors instead of closing only or closing yourself off or going into kind of like, you know, Fearville a little bit. It's also fear of like allowing somebody to come in deeply, especially, I mean, I can understand looking at this card. Holy crap. This is probably the most depicted 5 of Pentacles I've ever seen in my life. Seeing it reversed to saying like, hello, like, that maybe is the way that you want it to look like in bed. Maybe you didn't like it looking at it like that. You didn't like that version, but you like that version better. Geminis are crazy like that. You know what I mean? Woo! Let's see what this is all about. What's your shadow? Well, to be or not to be, that's your issue, is you just keep bouncing some relationship around in your head. Like, should I do this or should I not do this? Should I do it or not? Well, like, I think a lot of it is attached to the fear of, you know, like, you know, you'll be the victim of some situation. And that's over. You did get the Chariot card. This is definitely, you know, connected with, like, you're not going to know where you're going in your life until you make a choice. And wherever you go, it's the place that you're supposed to go. You're supposed to go in a new direction, though. So you can't just sit here and just say, I'm going to continue to live my life the same way anymore. You either let the person go or you move on to a new direction. And that's still moving on. We're going to get more clarity on it. What's the issue here? Oh, yeah, look at you. You're just stuck in your head. Like, it's just head games and just your mind can't let go of figuring out or looking at this that happened or that and nitpicking every little thing apart about whether that you should be with them or not. You got to move on and move on either from your mind and those things, or you got to move on completely from them. You got to make that choice. Look at you, really torn up as far as not knowing which direction to go. 2 of Swords upright. Definitely feel like, which direction do I take? I mean, wow, this is like the Gemini story times infinity right now with Venus on the North Node with full moon in the 9th, like pondering, and I don't know which direction to go. Yeah, you do. Like, take it or not. It's simple. You know, you kind of have to make a choice. And with the Chariot, wow, you got the Death card upright. So there's definitely a complete transformation here in order to move things forward. So it's like the death of one thing and the birth of another, or the complete, and that can be played out however it's going to be, Gemini, but there's definitely something completely coming to an end in order for this whole entire journey to move to the emotional place that you've always wanted to go, and it's guided by the universe. So if it's guided by the universe, let go of the challenges that you have of questioning it so much and indecisiveness of, well, keep replaying the victim that you've done, which is over. You got 10th house Libra Mercury. Well, I mean, I think that you have to make choices, and it's in Libra, about relationships, about if it fits in with your long-term goals, destiny, career, and all that. But it almost is like, you want partnership on the long journey, but you got to like figure out what are the things that are not bringing the harmony and like letting go of them. Because Capricorn 10th house, remember, is very like, we're not going to get emotional here about things. Like, let's just get to the plan and let's execute it. So there's an execution that has to be done. And whether or not you're still in the head overthinking a lot of things here, there's a lot of over processing way too much right now.
It's like that division going on within your mind and your heart. Maybe they want two different things. Your mind's saying that you need to go left, while your heart's saying, no, continue to go straight, continue to go on this path. And it's tearing you apart, which happens. It happens in life, but it's what are you going to listen to? What is driving you more? Is it the emotional thought of it, or is it your heart filled with love? Is your heart filled with the caring wisdom that you have within, that you've learned throughout this life? That's those tough decisions. Sometimes our head does kind of pull us in the wrong direction. Sometimes our head does play these games with us over and over and over, and then our heart does believe it. It's kind of touched on before with the whole Libra reading about believing your own lies, that you can't do it or that you're stuck in this situation. When you just need to go, you need to make that decision to change and actually implement that change in your life.
Well, since vampire is kind of the theme right now, I would say that it's like, this would be like, are you going to be like a vampire that like just like kind of nibbles at something? Like, that's not fucking cool, right? That's like the dark part of a vampire, right? Like a vampire that kind of just like takes a little and then just like keeps you as the treat, in the corner, like, and like, oh, I'm just going to kind of throw a little bit. And it's like you either ravage it fully or you don't deal with it at all. Like, it's very black or white, especially with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in the 8th. So that vampire shit, like, actually, it's funny. Geminis are learning the vampire within themselves and how to control it or how to use it correctly. And instead of, they should watch Interview with the Vampire to understand and not turn it out to be Brad Pitt at the beginning, the first half of the movie. This is the Capricorns. We're flying. Got to get to that spiritual dance music. All right, Capricorn, let's see what's going on. The Magician reversed. Wow, okay. Well, Cappy, I would say this. There's a lot of things that you can do right now to make magic. Especially, it's the physical world to make this magic in. You're dealing with an 8th and 2nd house full moon. Now, it's squaring your 5th house, so it's like your physical life and reality and the abundance that you can have of happiness is based on if you're in a magical place or not, around magical person. Because if it's not that magical, you're not going to really create much. And if you're having money issues, especially right now, not going to create no magic if there's no magic going on anywhere. And look at this downcast pride. It's like, you know what you want in life, but you almost think it's like too prideful to do that, or I can't let this person go, or you know what, like I don't know if I should go after that person. I don't think I'm ready. Like maybe I need to do this more. You know what, it's not the right time, or da-da-da-da. Not like, get a little bit more of that happiness of what you really want to have in your life, Capricorn. Especially stop playing that you're not magical and all this shit, or you need to start looking at who you're with and seeing if they're magical or not. The other aspect here, especially as overall, is we got the King of Pentacles reversed. Wow. So a lot of self-worth issues, but I think a lot of this is just like you're in a place right now where, gosh, you can have everything that you've ever wanted in your life, but you're downcasting it. You're like, nah, not possible. Oh, come on, Capricorn. It's possible. It's possible to have the magic of your life, and it's possible to go create. The King of Pentacles, he's got it all. Like, you want to know who's got it all? King of Pentacles. You come to him, He reminds me a little bit of a junkyard guy, but at the same time, he's also got all the money, and he's like, it's like DuckTales. It's like swimming in gold. So there is like a little, you know.
I love gold.
McDuck's got all the gold, you know, but like, if you're in a place where you don't believe in the magic and you don't have the abundance of that energy around you flowing, no abundance comes in. And if it's that, and you keep downcasting the pride to get out of that, or, you know, downcasting pride too is like, you know, I have the pride in this other area, and I'll take the beating so hard of not having the life I want and the magic I want because my pride's too much into some stupid thing that actually has zero relevance to the good things in your life. How do you get through that pride issue? Virgo, yeah, you need to reanalyze things. You need to look at reality. It's a reality check week. Is the reality really that great? Or do you have all this pride like, no, you know what, I'm doing the single thing. I'm working on myself right now. Or you know what? I'm in this relationship, and even though it's hell, you know what? I'm doing the right thing for reality right now. It's like, no, you know, let's re-examine that. Let's look at some facts here. Let's look at the real truth here. Why'd you get that Magician card reversed? Woo, you got that, the ultimate here, but not the ultimate. But I like it. I like the Knight of Rods upright.
Is that Clint Eastwood or something?
No. I really... Oh no, but it's the Knight of Rods. It isn't the King. But the Knight of Rods, you know, is like, let's go have a great time and let me go for love. You know, it's the Knight that wants love. It's like when they say like coming down on a horse with love and just swifting down, like, you know, like this is... That's where you're missing the magic. If there is no ability in yourself to want to have love pour out of your heart and somebody else to allow love to pour it within your heart, or if you're in a relationship and there is none of that leaping for love energy, well, you know, that magic's of connected to the divine in you. Remember that the Magician card is that you are the center, you are the fuse from as above, so but down below on this earth, and you are the conduit of the magic. But reversed is like you're disconnected from above and below, and you're kind of in your own space and you're not in love space. And that King of Pentacles reversed you got is the Magician again, but it's upright. So I would say that, gosh, you could have all the great things in your life and you want, that'll bring you the magic instead of continually staying in the situations that are not that great, not that magical, and don't have any abundance coming in, that you won't be able to create abundance. And you got to flip that script, because the King of Pentacles is like, I know what I want and I know the value of what it is. And I ain't going to mess around with things unless it is that ultimate magic. And you can do that, Capricorn, especially with Venus in the North Node here in the 6th house. I know it's been mundane, but it does come into your 7th house of relationships this week. You do got the, is that 6th house or 9th house? That's 9th house Neptune with Pluto. Ooh. Or Pisces, sorry. Oh, man. Pluto and Pisces in the 6th. We will see that, believe it or not, in our lifetimes, Pluto in Pisces. I mean, this is getting rid of the false magic in your life. The false magic that, and I'm just going to call the Capricorns out, you have to live like a grandma or grandpa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, gee, oh my God. Like, come on, the false illusion that that's like some great life. Oh, I could say that when the sun's in Leo, because the sun in Leo will always outdo any planet, especially Capricorn, Saturn, even while it's got Jupiter and fucking Pluto there. That I can tell you as the king, wake up, life is not about playing hunky-dory and playing fucking like, you know, what did the little girls play when they were kids? Like fucking, like the little fucking...
Hopscotch?
No, like the little baker, they were making fake food.
Oh, Susie, something.
I don't remember. Those little fucking microwaves and all that shit.
I had a sister and it was Easy Bake Oven.
Okay, this is not easy bake oven life for yourself, by yourself, and or in some situation that's boring, not magical. I can just see you right now wearing that little fucking easy bake oven fucking outfit right now and just being like, yay, and it's gotten so monotonous and so boring and so, oh my God.
So they lost the magic within.
They lost the magic within.
And you got to find it. You know, maybe that does take you walking through the desert to find yourself. Maybe it does. We're on the beach or just walking, going for a long drive. But tapping that back into the essence that actually is you is going to help. It's going to be able to enable you to build on yourself, to build on a foundation. It's going to enable you to actually be happy in this life once you do become happy with yourself again, because there's nothing that anybody can do that's going to make you happy if you're not happy by yourself. And in turn with that, you do have to find that magic, whatever it is, whatever's going to spark that interest again. It can be the littlest things, but find that spark, find that interest, and then apply it to your life, Capricorn. Easy breezy, baby. Go swim in those gold coins. Go find yourself
Like
a bank.
McDuck.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun. Actually, you know what?
Might get flagged.
No, well, you know why? Because I'm crazy about, my ringtones are crazy, okay? So I have, it's my ringtone now. Actually, I'm switching my ringtone back, but maybe go watch a little DuckTales. The kids. Who's next? Now I'm like all stuck on, what is my ringtone going to be next? Oh, well, I'm doing the big one. What was it? Pisces. Wow, no Leo yet. So what do we got left? We got Leo. We're
about halfway through.
we got Aries. Yeah, Cancer. Taurus. All right. You're a vampire, Pisces. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see what's going on with you this week, Pisces. The daughter of the Grails, of the Cups. So this is the page of Cups. I would say that this is, intuitively what you have to say emotionally. And it's not sometimes easy, but it's going to help you at least find more comfort in your life. So, but there's also a re-examining in what emotions in your life right now are off. And, if you can't have the conversations, if the other person doesn't want to talk, or you can't directly have a convo and you're not able to talk, that's a problem that you're going to have to let go of or something. And find the energy where the communication's key. And also re-examining a lot of things, because this is a full moon in your 12th. Don't forget, and it's square Uranus. And especially this being in your third house, like you're mentally re-examining so much that you need to get clarity. This is a card of emotional clarity. You did get the child I was meant to be. And I think that's your issue, is that you keep looking at the hypotheticals of what you think you were meant to be instead of who you are. Like, it's like this ideal, you're creating the idealization of, oh, wow, this is exactly, I don't know, the idealization of this life and how you expected it to look with somebody or your partner, or even just if you're single, of how a partner should be and look. But maybe you need to rethink and have better conversations emotionally with situations before you throw yourself in these weird situations that you don't understand completely. You did get the Judgment card up right. So, especially I like this Judgment card, especially in the Golden Tarot deck, just because of the fact that we are seeing this amazing aspect of, there's this Jesus, there's these beautiful angels that show up, and everybody's coming towards that divine justice of the higher form of justice and truth. It also is the 20, the double Roman numeral X's. So I would say that, you're coming to a place of like, you have to make a major judgment as if you're really in alignment in your emotional truth. And I would say that, Grand Cross Provoker, that's the provoking is that the universe has put a lot of pressure on you with this major, of course, Grand Cross energy card. It's pressure of creating that who you thought you were meant to be doesn't necessarily mean, or how you even look at somebody and how it's supposed to mean, doesn't necessarily mean it will ever look that way, right? Like the pressure is to realize that sometimes it looks better than the way that you thought it should be. but maybe God's pulling you in a different direction, or God's doing different things. And especially there's a lot of surrender with a full moon in the 12th house. I'll be honest with you. That's not easy, but it's provoking you to go to the right direction. Wow, you did get this. Is this 9? Yeah, this is 9. Oh no, it's 6. 6 of Wands reversed. No victory. No victory when it is this, you know, I would say childish emotional state that you don't know how to communicate it with. And you know, I would say that no victory if you're not in any position that's making you happy. If it's constantly no communication or constantly miscommunication, that's not victory. And that if you can't get that in life and you can't be on the same page, well, and you think it was meant to be some way, and it's provoking you to say, no, it's not. Judgment card came with the High Priestess upright. Follow your divine guidance. Spirit is trying to give you everything right now. I mean, you got the High Priestess. You got 2 major arcana here with the Judgment card. Woo! It's a big deal. What is Spirit telling you to do? And don't fall into your own illusions of like, God's telling me that it's supposed to be this. It's like, no, like that's your ego. It's like usually going to be things that it's like, okay, I get it. Especially that the universe is provoking you to re-examine of what the thing that you meant it to be. It'll probably be something that's giving you a different direction. You know, it's like Amber Alert. You know what I mean? Vampire. Uranus in the 12th house in Cancer. Yeah, that's like an Amber Alert. So the Amber Alert is on Cancer, your feelings, and that they have to go into a new position and change and let go and release. Uranus in the 12th is like, we're getting rid of this whole thing. Blah. And we need to ascend to a higher vibrational place in order for you're dealing with emotions that you were like dealing with heavy, I'll be honest, kind of toxic emotional positions in people that you got to learn to release. Or it's just toxic on you because of how it's making you feel. And it's toxic emotions that you don't need to have. And you don't want that Amber Alert out. We need to go find the Pisces. Been taken down by some vampire, and that vampire could be yourself.
And we're all faced with certain situations where we're presented with an opportunity to kind of level up in life, you know, to kind of take these next steps in this evolution of our soul, you know, and this might be that time to like be real, to really look at yourself and the situations that you've gone through, to look at your partner that you're in. And are you guys truly on that same path together? You know, these are those times where you can take these extra steps to betterment, to fulfillment of your soul and of your life's purpose. But are you actually going to take these steps? Because it can be hard. It can be hard to look at the truth of ourselves, to look at the truth of what we've actually done and what we're trying to do and face those fears. But they're attainable and you're able to work through them though. But if you face them head on and actually just go for it.
Yeah, you got to go for it.
You got it. I think that's been a theme.
You also don't want to keep going in a position that's just fucking not the direction. That's
no.
It's like, gosh, like sometimes I always say that I'll say something like, just like you said, and then I'll have to always reaffirm it, because doing this and being a channeler for so long, and I think you feel it too as a Scorpio, Craig, and I think all Scorpios feel it. It's just like, not like some people take things and just will take anything that they hear and turn it for their own advantage of a negative position about going about things. And I don't know why my guy just flew in. We're just like, fucking make sure that you realize, like, do you know what you're doing? You know, like, oof. Woo. All right, who's next?
Big money, big money.
The Aries.
Big money.
The Aries.
Big money. Voila.
You ready, Aries?
I think they are.
I don't know, with that moon and Mars, right, this weekend, might be Amber Alerts up for them, right? It's going to be like, square all that fucking Capricorn shit. Woo! Venus and Cancer, woo! Daughter of the Pentacles. So this is the Page of Pentacles, but it's in reverse. So it's like afraid to speak what you really want, don't believe, in what's real, almost kind of having like delusions of grandeur, like that are like more denial than what's actually true. Like, I'll be honest, it's almost like not seeing the great things that are in front of you, or not believing that they're actually real. Like it's almost like, no, that's, not possible. It's like, no, things are possible, because remember that the Page of Pentacles always has an offering, right? And it's like, you're almost like not wanting to take the offering, or not believing in the offering in your mind, that you don't think it's real. Your shadow about that is the colorless angel, because you're feeling like there's just no hope left in the world, that you almost don't believe that real things exist and beauty exists. So you're like empty, because there's like this nothing happening. But that's because you don't take the offerings, or you don't believe in the offerings, or you find so many ways to block the offerings because you don't think they're real or true. Especially with this full moon in Aquarius, you have to connect now to people. Square Uranus in your second house of physical reality. And with the sun in Leo, this is your fifth house of love. This is one of your love big full moons. And especially it's like a physical love. One that you're going to have to go to a new physical level that you've never done before. And self-worth tests of ones you've never done before. Oh, Seven of Pentacles reversed. That's your overall. It's almost like, I feel that you just overall just continually put in a lot of work and don't get any return. And that's why you don't believe in things. Well, be better about, if you see, like, I'll be honest, I've used this analogy a lot for this card. If you're about to move from a house and there's leaves in the backyard, don't clean up the leaves. Like, you know what I mean? Don't put all that work in. There's going to be, guaranteed the landlord's going to send somebody over there to clean the house and repaint it anyway. And then the new people, when they come, are going to be like, look at these leaves. I love this house. And they're going to have so much fun cleaning the leaves. Even though you're going to be like, oh, God, I don't want to clean these damn leaves back here. And the landlord ain't going to charge you for leaves. Don't be wasting your time on, like, be smarter about what you're putting your energy into. And that's why you get the Scorpio card. It's time to transform this colorless angel into what? I don't know. You're a Scorpio, Craig. What would a colorless angel transform itself into?
Whoa, in that case, I mean, it's something that's completely heartfelt and loving, I guess. Something that leads with passion and isn't going to be draining an individual that they're with. Someone that's actually going to pump up that love, and someone that's going to bring that vibrance back into a relationship instead of just being suckling and just draining everybody around it, and not a good time. Is that exact enough?
I mean, yeah. I think I need a little bit more clarity, though. I mean, we're going from a colorless angel to what? Like, well, give me something specific.
The opposite of a colorless angel would be someone that's bringing vibrance into it, someone that's bringing passion into relationships, someone that's not going to be just draining, but someone that's going to pump that up and freaking be well,
it's a colorless angel.
Back into it. Colorless angel is just someone that's just drowning you, someone that's not a healthy situation, something that's just going to be pulling your life force out of you every second of every day.
What about like themselves. A vampirist? What about like a vampirist? Like, look at that. Like, no. Colorless angel to a vampirist. Now she's got color, maybe a little bit too much blood on her fucking lips. Although it's kind of hot to me. I got Scorpio on my chart though, but I almost feel like, it was a great birthday gift, but it was like too good of a birthday gift, because then it's revealing all of my fucking secret, vampire energy, right? That's what everybody wants to think, especially people in my Facebook group. I had somebody accuse me of crazy shit today. Fucking, I was just like, what? God, everybody was like, this is ludicrous. But I will admit, I think vampires are hot. A lot of people think I look like one. I would say, I guess I'll pull as a Leo. It is Leo time. You are Leo rising, Leo moon though too, I would say the opposite of colorless angel would be Belle in Beauty and the Beast. She's so happy and go lucky, and she's going around. She's very Aries to me. Like, she's like, I know what book I want. I know where I'm going. I'm doing this. I have no problem going into the middle of fucking nowhere and walking into this castle and fucking da-da-da-da-da. But when you're a colorless angel, it's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do shit. Like, fucking, I'm going to just sit here and mope and just like, I'm going to just watch this movie, and I'm just going to just drink as much as I fucking can. Why'd you get that Page of Pentacles reversed? Well, the Strength card reversed. So it's like you're afraid of the great offerings. You don't believe. It's like, why do you have fear of great things that could change? Man. lacking the strength, lacking the, that is the Leo card, right? Like that card is the card that rules Leo. Like, it's like, that's the higher vibration, is like love, the strength of love. But it's like, you're afraid because you think love's untamed. Yeah, it is untamed. Love is a wild beast. And it's like, you want it to be like this tame thing, even though you're a fucking Aries, and that would be the most boring thing in the world. Look at this. There's nothing to be afraid of. Look at this. Your spiritual advice is stop putting up your fucking guard dogs, especially for things in life that you're not getting any returns on. You're not getting any returns because of all your fucking walls. Especially that Scorpio transform card is to break down those walls and transform them. So many insecurities and fears and, not believing people who they really are and all that kind of stuff. Mercury and Libra in the 12th. Whoa! It's time for you to look at the subconscious holdbacks of your mind's idea in relationships. That is your relationship house. You are an Aries. Libra is your relationship house. And it also is about like getting to the deeper soul level in relationships and communicating that stuff, but also removing the things in the mind that are blocking you to go to the soul level.
Got to work through those blocks.
Yeah, work through that shit.
Yeah, you do. You got to tap into that Scorpio essence of it. That raw darkness almost that it is, but it is that passion as well. And you have that Aries fire, you have that Ram, you have that Mars energy pushing you forward. But sometimes maybe you're forgetting about that passion. Maybe you're forgetting about that sexiness that's inside of you, and you need to let that out. Girl or guy, whoever's listening, whoever needs to
Girl
take that
or guy.
in, whoever's need there. Non-binary, all that freakiness. Let's get it. You gotta let it out into the world. Always radiate that little freaky time. I think everyone needs to get a little freakiness out there. That's just my opinion.
Tell them, fucking Scorpio. Tell them.
I think, like I say, people need to go out and touch
Leo,
somebody. You need to go out and touch
up.
someone and get touched. If you need it, do it.
Yeah, get those Leos up. Let's see what's up for Leo. Full moon in the relationship house, square Uranus in the 10th. This is the relationship full moon for you, Leo. Let's see. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So it's like, I think you're over putting energy into positions where you're not getting any return back at all. Like, you're just like, unless somebody's willing to go full in, invest in the physical and make it real, you'll put your energy into. If somebody's kind of half-assed, not showing much into it, you're not going to deal with it. And I think that that's good for you. So you've pulled out, or you're pulling out of a lot of situations or a relationship that, you're not getting any return back. Like, it's not worth your time. It's not worth your energy. The shadow of that is, there's a lot of anger and change. I feel that, I'm not going to put my own self into it because I'm a Leo, but it's like, when you leave things and you don't get returns back, it kind of like is a shadowy spot where it's like, when you don't got nothing, it's kind of like, fucking fuck this sucks. Or if you're in a relationship and it sucks and it makes you frustrated because you're not getting any return in the relationship and you haven't done anything about it, man, that would make me really fucking pissed. Either way, Leos kind of are dealing with this kind of like, is there ever anything that wants to put in a full return for the investment? Temperance card reverse is the overall. Definitely, this is changing up the whole entire, the temperance reverse is like, the earth shaking and changing and moving into whole new positions. So, it's almost like, this is the way that things are right now in your relationship life. It's all got to go through a massive change. And it's going to not be on the same kind of repetitive cycle that you're in. So that's good. But at the same time, like, it's to re-beautify your life. So there's a lot of re-beautifying here for love. Oh, I already saw that card, so we'll just do it. Look at this. When you get the 8 of Cups with the 7 of Pentacles reversed, I mean, you're definitely, And I like this deck because it does kind of show it. It does show a UFO. It's like you're like, I'm over all these emotions in these places where I got no returns and nobody wants to show up fully. Because look at her. She shows up fully. She's like, welcome home, daddy. I fucking got your fucking apple. I don't know who you are, and I don't really want to show up that great, and I have kind of things in my life and whatever, right? Like, it's like, fuck this, all right, I'm a Leo, I'm going to fucking that spaceship, and whoop. I was going to say, how do we get through that anger and chains? Uranus. Wow, look at that. Radically new stuff, crazy situations that are exciting and stimulating, and you know what? Being smart and being, you know, I know they say genius, but I don't believe in a genius. I believe that genius only comes from innovation of actually doing new things, you know? So there's definitely trying new things and trying a whole new way about your relationship life. And that temperance reversed, we got the world card reversed. So it's, you know, this is worlds coming to a close that you're, and even like the temperance card, like these are two major arcana. And this is like completely like the world being flipped on you about love. Like, if you're in one position that you thought was one way, it's going to go the whole different direction. If you thought it was this direction, it's going that direction. Like this is everything flipping on you. And this is like leaving a lot of things in the past to move into new things and new situations and new worlds. But it is kind of weird with the world card reversed. It almost feels like it's not going to completely change. It's just changing more of the fundamentals of the way that some emotional things have been playing out, and especially it's changing the things that things are playing out and where new innovation has to come that kind of felt that it was keeping you in a block before. It's like there's a lot of blocks being removed this week. Mars and Sag in the 6th. So yeah, this is definitely expanding into a different reality completely. That's what I felt, and re-identifying that reality and re-identifying the belief of that. Maybe it is the perspective of the reality too that needs to be changed. Because if we have a bad perspective in life about love, then and we're living in that hamster wheel of that's all we're gonna keep turning out, right? So this is like changing it up and opening up doors to new change in different situations, especially.
Yeah, and being open and welcoming that change too when it presents itself, you know, and be willing not to forget yourself and not to forget that Leo power, but to kind of like embrace that other energy that is coming in and that other ability to kind of better your life. You know, I like that UFO card because it's kind of looking up to the sky. What's in the sky? The sun. That's where you're getting your power from, Leo. So it's always not forgetting that, you know, that you do hold the capability of powering all those around you. You know, you have that sun energy. You are able to energize individuals around you, and it's not forgetting that, and not forgetting that you hold that power within you, which can be draining to yourself if you do forget that, you know, or feel like the world is coming down on you. Don't forget that, Leo, that you are the sun.
No, I get, you know, and that's the whole thing is like Leos always have to remember that, right? They always have to remember, hey, life can be wonderful and great, and not a lot of people really want that, and that's okay. But the ones that do will show up. Like the planets show up to the sun. The sun doesn't show up to the planets. Sorry, I know everybody else wishes that was that way, but you know. Sure. But when people start denying Leos and start saying no, it's like, well, why don't you go find another fucking sun? Like, have a nice one. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be part of this fucking universe, the solar system? Like, have a nice one. Go find, I'm sure those other fucking solar systems are real fun. That's just spitting Leo.
Darkness.
That's just spitting some Leo truth right
Darkness.
there. Huh?
The darkness of the other universes.
It's the... Taurus. Oh, the Taurus. Well, let's see what Taurus has got. Well, we got that page of the cups. I love this card. Now, I would say that this card is definitely saying, you know, it's time for you to really, I think, move into a new space when it comes to, all you got to do is really say what you want to say emotionally, make a reach out, can get the message out. Also, I feel that there's just a lot that you just have to get out emotionally that you haven't been. And it's like, one thing about a page is sometimes people like, imagine being an Amazon driver right now. Why do you think so many of them have quit? Some of the images over the last couple of months of those Amazon drivers that like one guy like parked it in some person's yard and just left the truck and just walked out like, God, I'm over this. You know what I mean? There's Ring doorbells now, all these things. Like, it's like, get your message through. But you've got to also know the emotion. Like, if you're trying to present a message and you're crying and nobody knows why, that won't do that well, right? Like, there's something about the Page of Cups that's like, I've got a message. We got to talk about emotion, and I'm going to show you a positive emotion so we can find the positive things about it instead of coming kind of in a different way. Because this full moon in the 10th house you got to get serious, when it's an Aquarius here, this is your 10th house. When it scores Uranus in your own sign, and it's got an emotional sun in Leo for you right now in your 4th house, and with Mercury coming in here, yeah, there's a lot of emotion, especially Mercury in Leo this week for you. But I would say that the big thing is Venus North Node for you with needing to know the value of what you want and going after it. And you might have to put out, ooh, but look at this. That shadow you got is fated to suffer. No, you're not. You're not fated to suffer. That's, I think, the whole problem is like the second that you try to get your emotional message out and it doesn't work, you just go, I'm fated to suffer. Fucking blah. It's like, no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Unless you want to eat that fucking apple from that evil, maleficent queen, like, you know what I mean? Although I don't think that was Maleficent, but still, like, what was the name of the queen? Oh, I guess it's just the queen. What? From Snow White. Anybody remember the name of the queen?
Evil Queen.
I think she was just evil queen that fucking had.
Queen, fictional character known as the Wicked Queen or just the Queen.
The Wicked Queen. I like Wicked Queen. Dope. I think that your shadow is that you feel like you're just here to suffer from the fated queen, or wicked queen, but it's a fated wicked queen. Fated to suffer. 4 of Pentacles in reversed. Yeah, overall, it's like, let go to the outcome of how you want to see things and stop holding on to the way that you want them to look. Because I feel like that's what suffering is. Like, you're holding on to all this stuff of like, I want it to feel this way. I want it to have physical look this way and all that. And there's so much confusing questions emotionally. And especially I think there's a lot that you're trying to figure out about how to, you got Uranus in your sign. Like, it's a fucking puzzle. Trust me, Uranus, when it comes into your sign, is a puzzle. I mean, I'm a Leo. I've never had it there. But I can tell you, as doing enough readings, when I watched all the Aries with Uranus in their sign from 2010 and 11 all the way till 2019, I was like, oh my God. It was pretty wild to watch the puzzles that they were trying to figure out in their life. But they do well with Uranus. Taurus does not. That's the fall position. So this is like harder because, you're a lot more slower and want things to just like happen like on a slower pace when it's like, no, Uranus is like, we're fucking figuring out the puzzle tonight. You're not going to sleep and we're figuring out, it's like, oh my God, like, can I at least go get tea? It's like, no, I'll give you tea once we get to the next level, Ooh, look at this. Lunar eclipse. Big change. Ooh, and I think that's the change of letting go of like that. There's nothing to suffer about except the suffering that you're taking, which of course is by eating the fucking apple of a fucking wicked queen. Look at this. I love this card, the 8 of Wands. This is the arrows of love. Now I would look at this arrows of love as, Mars is in your 12th, and I know it's squaring a lot of this Capricorn stuff. It's like, allow the universe to take you to the doors that are opening by communicating them. Instead of trying to, control these arrows yourself. You got the Hermit reversed. Yeah, this is about, I think, I would say that, there's nothing for you to hold on to right now. Because this is about going to something. You're only going to get to the ultimate happy place in your life the less you hold on to things. And play things a little bit too, like I'll be honest, I have met more people younger than me in their 20s. And I don't know why my guys just want me to say this again, because I even said it in my daily today. I did put on YouTube, Instagram, and it's on the app, but it's like, what the fuck is going on with these young people acting like they're fucking grandmas and grandpas? I don't understand it. I really do not. And it's hard because I only have Jupiter in Capricorn. I'm a Neptune and Uranus and Sag. So I'm like, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get it. And I would say that for Tauruses, this is exactly that vibe. Like, why are you acting like fucking this is like not even as good as Love Connection or The Love Boat or anything like that? Like I'm trying to think of the most mundane story. It's like, you feel like this is Gilligan's Island and you got to end up with Gilligan or something, fucking, you know, and you got to like wait a long time to figure out if you're going to be able to sleep next to Gilligan. It's like, come on, it's not that fucking bad. Some people got lucky on Gilligan's Island. Some people did not. Gilligan did not get lucky on, I think all he had was, I think all he had was his buddy. That was it. Like, there was nothing else. Like, you know, the doctor had Ginger, and the other rich couple, right? Like they
had each other.
They had each other. But Gilligan and what was it? I don't know why I forgot the other guy's name. Man, we're losing. Like, are you looking it up? Mm-hmm. I watched Gilligan's Island fucking as a kid all the time. I was just like, why not? Flipper. Whatever. It was just like, okay, Nick at Night. Who?
The skipper.
Oh, that's right, the skipper. Oh, no, so that's right. So the skipper is who I'm thinking about, and Gilligan didn't get, well, Gilligan didn't get crap, but the skipper didn't get anything either. The skipper got nothing. Gilligan got screwed on that island.
Well, Skipper and Gilligan put them into that situation, so they deserve to not get shit.
That's true. But I would say that they also chose to kind of sit there and just see if something would show up eventually. Or maybe they were waiting on the doctor to die or something. I don't know. If we were to like go into like today's world, like the real truth of Gilligan's Island, and they were really there. Like, I was just waiting for the fucking the doctor to die to get Ginger or whatever. My God. Pluto in Uranus in the 8th house. Woo! Intimacy. Well, that's breaking down the walls of intimacy by trying to connect. There's a lot of disconnect with the intimate realms right now, Taurus. You gotta change that, or it's, you know, there's some Tauruses out there that might be taking this like too far past the boundaries too. Like, you might be with somebody really toxic, and you just keep like, oh, I want more, and you know, don't keep playing Britney Spears Toxic all day. I know Free Britney is all over the place right now, but don't be playing Toxic while everybody's trying to free Britney. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to become intimate with yourself again, Taurus. You know, maybe you lost that little aspect of yourself out there, just being out there in the lonely field, chomping all that delicious grass, getting that vitamin D. You know, it's easy. It's easy to kind of lose touch of your own essence of who you actually are and get lost. And then what happens? You end up at a butcher. Don't end up at a butcher, Taurus. You got to find that power. You got to find that love.
Well, it's 2 more signs. Cancers. Virgos are last.
Crab people.
I'm not going to be climbing over the couch as a crab this week. Yeah, so these last 2 signs, and then we are going to switch to spiritual dance music, which will take probably about a half hour to 45 minutes. But don't miss out on that show. I know some of your East Coasters are like, it's so late. It's a full moon. Or at least turn off your binaural beats for a minute and play that, or live a little bit. Live. You know why? Because living is the opposite of evil. Live a little. It's wild times. Have some fun. Fuck the boring. Cancer, fuck boring relationships. Seriously. I know that it might seem like it's a great thing, but it's not. Especially with Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn in your fucking 7th house, and Mercury's finishing the opposition, and Venus comes into your sign this week. Ooh, the 3 of, oh wow, the heartbreak card. I have not seen it from this Vampirist deck yet. Wow. What is she doing? She is cutting the rose that's got blood, and the crow is with, look at all the crows in the graveyard. At first I was like, is she cutting herself? But she's not. She's cut the rose off. Wow. Well, you did pull a heartbreak card, so we will give you a little extra love here to figure this one out here. Wow, you got the artificial heart. Wow, it looks like the same actress who just switched roles. Two different decks too. Cancer. Look at Tom Cruise's life. He's a Cancer, right? Wonder what he's going through right now. Think about that. I feel that this is finally the last straw for a lot of Cancers that are still on the everything's fine train. Because I feel like even if you're single Cancer, it's almost like, you know, you're still connected to this idea that something will turn the way you want it to turn, but it's not. And you're also cutting yourself off by these really artificial relationships completely. And it's leaving you turning kind of a little bit, for some people, sadistic, and others it could just feel like you're losing touch with life. Your outcome card here is the Five of Swords upright. You need to try a little harder, even if it does offend people. You can't be afraid of offending people at this point. You can't be afraid of offending people for getting in such crazy, crappy situations. And you have to go do what you need to do and what you want. Sure, some people might leave and be like, wow, look at you. You know, like, you're taking your power. Yeah, I'm taking my fucking power. You know what I mean? And you pulled the Libra card with that artificial heart. So, ooh. It's got to be the true relationships. Libra is true balance. Like, you know, whether that's spiritual balance to love balance to edge and passion balance to any kind of thing like that. And fairness, too. Don't be taking care of nobody, Cancer, and being the mom either, or the dad. You know what I mean? Like, why'd you get that 3? Oh, wow, you got the Death card reversed. You're afraid of the heartbreak. Death card reversed. Look at that. This card creeps me out for the Death card. It's like, yeah, it's like being in Wuhan. But in many ways, it's like, I feel like, nobody, I know that's a bad joke, but I'm sorry. Just, you know, we didn't get no real info out of Wuhan, and they have been silent the whole time. Like, come on. I would say that, you know, Cancer, why are you so afraid? Something that's like the false fear of like transformation. That's what not to be afraid of. Why is the universe asking for you to try harder? Oh, look at this. Yeah, greed reversed. It's almost like you just have, I'll be honest, you're losing out monetarily right now, and especially looking at, you know, especially when I dropped the bombs on you all with Deep Astrology this week, or if you did watch Battle of the Gods. And I'll be honest with you, you all heard me all year say that when we got to this time, and you all heard me say that they wouldn't do the stimulus the same way, and nobody wanted to believe me. And this is like you kind of being like, oh, I was relying on all these things, and fucking now I'm left with this. I didn't, you know, even though it's greed and it's reverse, that's a positive thing, but I almost look at this as a negative. I almost feel like you haven't given yourself like even enough to give yourself anything. You did pull Pluto in Scorpio in the 7th. So I'd say that the great transformation and change is happening in death, and rebirth is in relationships. 7th house Scorpio, Pluto. Oh my God. Ay, 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 ay. It could come to a great transformation. It maybe just needs like a complete, like, you know, bleach. Wipe out. But it also is getting to the deep truth and the intimate truth of where things are. Good luck.
And they're there, you know, those truths are there, as hard as they might be to see always, or that we don't want to see it necessarily, or we don't want to show it to our partner, but it is there, and it is that truth. It is that ever being light that resides within all of us, that sometimes we're a little afraid to shine it out into the world because we could be timid, because, you know, maybe sometimes we feel like it's going to be too bright or not bright enough, and then we feel we have to dim it ourselves. And then what do? We end up stifling our growth, and we end up in a crap situation, in a crappy little crab hole. Or maybe, you know, we got to level up. We're in a small little shell and we go there, and then we're walking on the beach. And then what? We find a piece of plastic, and that becomes our home, you know, an old little tic-tac box for the crabs instead of a beautiful shell. And you just kind of settle and said, oh, this will be fine. But it's not. It is not good enough, and it never will be good enough. So you got to go find that beautiful spiral shell. Maybe it's got some pink on it. Maybe it's got a little blue. It's like a summer sunset. Go find that shell.
Yeah. I was going to say, though, with that Cancer, remember, it is a full moon in the 8th house of intimacy and need and depth and connection, with the sun in the 2nd in Leo. It's like you got to have that ultimate connection with the squares to Uranus in the 11th house. That's going to take you to a whole new world.
A whole new world.
That's the whole funny thing is Cancers love the whole, I bet you they feel so comfortable watching The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Aladdin, any of the fucking Disney and stuff. And it's like, hello, like fucking like the whole new world is here. But it's like, oh, I gotta actually, you know, it's like, are you playing Jasmine right now? And you're like, oh, I'll never find anything that I really want, or I'll just accept Jafar. Or even creepier, if Jafar didn't work out, would she have just accepted, like, I'll just take my father to Solomon?
I hope not. We're Virgos, right?
We're going to Virgo.
On that note.
Virgo's last one. Gold cup drop on fucking Cancers with Virgo. Reality check. Oh, that one was funny. Oh. Is it Solomon that they call him? Or this?
Sultan?
Forgot what they fucking call
Sultan of Swat?
Sultan. The Sultan.
Sultan.
I don't know why I got Solomon, but
Sultini.
I guess I also fucking thought that Gilligan was the skipper, and Skipper was the Gilligan, so.
It happens.
Yeah.
You're halfway to 70.
I got Joe Biden syndrome right now, you know what I mean? Like fucking, I bet you the stress for Joe Biden right now, he's a Scorpio and Sag rising. The stress for that guy right now, when we already know he's not all there right now, right? And then they're like, they were supposed to announce the VP pick, and then they didn't. And you know, they're probably like got him down in the bunker, and then they're like, we'll just figure it out for you. And he's like, what's going on? You know, I feel bad for that guy, because like I feel like you know, they're putting like a lot of weight on this guy, and I don't even think he knows. You know, like, you know, it's, I mean, and I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, you can just tell by watching, and then the fact that they don't keep him on interviews. And then I just saw the one with Elizabeth Warren, and he didn't even, she even went, oh, like, I don't even know I'm on this interview with him right now. Ugh. Don't Joe Biden it right now. What's that TikTok thing? It's like I was with Joe Biden fucking or something. I fucking forgot. I'm not even gonna try to act like I'm fucking cool anymore. All right, Virgo, let's see what's going on with you with this full moon in your 6th house of changing your reality in your 12th house, sun. 10 of Cups upright. Well, this is a good change. You know, I like this card. I just got this deck today, by the way, and it was funny because I saw this and I was like, wow, for the 10 of Cups, I was like, she's so happy. Look at her. She's got a moon on her. She's got a nice moon necklace there, but she's got a great goblet, and it's full of the best blood she's ever had. And she's like, it's so good. And she's laying in a bed of roses, white roses. It's just like, she got all her lace on too. This is a great week for finding the ultimate dream and vision in your life, but you need to know what that is, and you're able to have it. Once you reach any 10, right, you've like reached the level to where all of the court cards are. So, you know, it's like you're in between, you're moving to a really beautiful place finally. I think you've done a lot of work and you're ready to find the greatness, but let's see what the shadow is of all this shit. You're alone in the world. You feel alone. So you see what you really want to have, but you're alone. So I would say that it's like, this could be kind of weird to say this, Virgo, but it could be like, okay, I'm happy with where my life is, but at the same time, I feel really alone. You could be in a relationship, could be single, and you're trying to figure this one out. And you're like, oh. But you also see the vision in what you want, and it's almost like it's within grasp. But if you keep yourself alone and don't say anything or don't do anything or don't show up, not is going to happen. You did get the Ace of Swords in reverse. That means there's a lot of, unclarity here, and also unwillingness to kind of take that sword and just jab it into the new, fresh expression of the reality and just be like, yes, like I'm clear and I know and I'm going for it. But there's this hesitation element of like an uncertainty in the mind and overthinking things, especially at full moon in the 6th house. In the 12th house, everything's all over the place for you. And with the square to Uranus in the 9th, it's pondering and how do I do this reality and how do I do this whole 12th house thing? I think that it's like surrendering to the reality that you really want and actually doing the big adventure. And it's fucking a crazy adventure. And that's exciting instead of like, I'm going to go alone and just continue to stay in my hole alone. Why are you doing that? Oh, Saturn return. You try, you know what? It's like, maybe you need to grow up and actually stop being so alone. Like take some, like be a grown up and be like, I'm not going to sit alone here. Saturn return can feel that way though. So it's kind of odd, but I will be real. When I pulled this card this is the way to get through it. It's kind of like, Saturn return forces us all on our knees, but actually what it is to get up off our knees and deal with the shit. That's what Saturn returns are. That is the test of being an adult. And yeah, you're on your knees a little bit here. The ultimate happiness that you want to find, you're not able to find that because you're the one who's creating the alone energy in the world by not confronting your partner who's making you feel alone, or you're the one who's not into your partner and you feel alone, or you're single and you're not willing to go on the dates, or you're not willing to fully do things. Like you gotta, come on, it's time to Saturn it. It's time to make it real. It's time to step up to the plate. Gotta deal with things. You did get the Knight of Cups reversed. Yeah, so you're emotionally afraid to move forward and tread. What card is this? Wow, look at the fawns. Greece. You're not wanting to go to the diner and have a good time. What's the deal? Fawns likes to have a good time. You're in rituals that are not working. You're in the same pattern of uncertainty and not clarity, and that's your issue. You know, this ritual reversed is not good. It's rituals of doing the same repetitive patterns, especially when we get an Ace of Swords reversed, of unclarity and unwilling to take, I would say risk, but it's not that big. It's the mental ritual of, no, I'm going to say no. I'm going to deny. I'm going to not say. I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do. And that's like become this negative ritual. And you've almost made, Virgos get very specific on a ritual and to a place to where it's like they purposely do that because they feel more comfortable, but it's like not going to work, especially with this. I mean, let's be real. Mars and Aries square Jupiter. I mean, a lot of this is like you're afraid of intimate passion. You're afraid of like realizing that drama comes with passion. So yeah, you got to go into some drama situations because if you're having intimate connection and there's no drama and no, wow, woo, then what the fuck are you doing anyway? And that comes with the drama in yourself of I have to actually make this change or I have to dramatically do something. If you're in a relationship and you went in that drama of the 5th and 8th house, sex and intimacy and love and happiness and all that shit, oh, that means that you're always going to have to be dealing with it. But also if you're going to avoid it, but you really desire it, especially that Tenic, look at, she wants it so bad. Look at that. She is just like, ah! But no, I'm not going to go to the place to have it. I'm going to keep the ritual that I'm unclear and I don't know, but you're really clear on a ritual that's not working. You got Jupiter Aquarius in the 11th. Wow, that means extremely social. And I know that it's in social distancing, you know, but like, you know, go read up Fauci's article on Tinder. Just go read that article. But also with you, if you're in a relationship, it's like there's a part of you that there's this whole world of love and everything that you have to show up to, and you have to actually look at everything and you have to express, and you know, you got to figure out. You can't just not figure it out. And that also is world change. And this is also looking at how the world shifts you in so many ways right now. Instead of maybe the inner world of your actual world, instead of allowing kind of this belief that the world's affecting your life when it's more about the world that you're in. Well, that's all she wrote. What do you have to say?
I was just going to say, just kind of take a deep look as to where you're limiting yourself and where you've been holding yourself back in life and in love and in experiences and in the growth of it all. And kind of, I think that we can all take something away from that and figure out what we need to change within ourselves or what we kind of need to adapt into this new world and adapt into this new happiness that we're all worthy of having and that we all can have, but we just have to maybe look at the world or look at these relationships just a little different than we used to, step up a little bit more and step into a new direction, take that brave step into that strange new world and wave that freak flag way in the fucking sky so everyone can see it. Be you always. Let it out into the world and come dance with us.
Come dance with us, spiritual dance
Come
music.
dance with us.
And please share this video out, of course. We really appreciate you here at highvibe.tv and, of course, on the Leo King YouTube. And this is the week. I talk about it very extensively on highvibe.tv, on each zodiac sign, and, of course, on the dailies that I do every day, and on the weekly tarot, weekly intuitive, and the weekly... All the daily stuff that I do on High Vibe, and I'm really walking people through this, and you get deep astrology in its full form with all the charts and with everything, and especially this week's deep astrology. And if you want to even get even deeper, go watch that awesome it's like, I don't want to overshoot it, but it's like 4 hours and 20 minutes or something. Battle of the Gods. Purchase it at highvibe.tv on the mothership, then just log onto your app or your Apple TV or your Roku or whatever and watch it there. It's a battle out there, folks, and I hope you're prepared, but you should be doing that with somebody to get through. Love y'all. We'll see you.
See ya.
Spiritual dance music. Don't. Or